Hi guys, I need a wooden dummy and I thought I'd share it. There's quite a few videos out there I believe, but this is my take with minimal tools. I mean obviously I'm going to be using a table saw, some plain or sander, but there'll be no mortising machine, anything like that, no lathe. Will be shaping will all be done with hand-eye coordination between a sander, electric planer and hand planer. There's a few ways you could do this. I'm using two sleepers, two oak sleepers, which are going to be laminated together. There's also other techniques. You could use like thinner boards and laminate them together, and I believe that would be the best option because you're really going to minimise cracking and splitting, etc. But the last dummy I made, which was a wall mounted dummy, I've used the same process, two oak sleepers, and it's stood up to all sorts. It's like gets used all the time, and it's had some really bad exposure to weather, cold, extreme heat, moisture. It's totally fine, so I'm going to stick with this method. It's what I know. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So enough talking anyway, and let's get started. So when you're doing this, make sure the two mating surfaces are a good mating surface, basically nice and flat, and you're going to get a good glow up surface. And make sure they're clean. So I'm using some Gorilla Glue. I bought this the other day. First time I've used it the other day, and what I used it on, I was really impressed. So I'm going to use this. So on both sides, be generous. Always better to be generous than to put too little on, especially with something like this. Okay guys, we're now ready to glue up. I'm really short on clamps, so I'm just going to have to make do with what I've got, which is going to be a bit of everything. So whatever you've got, try and make sure it's as well clamped as possible. So here we go. That's it guys, we just let it dry now. So guys, we were waiting for the body to dry. Here I've got these two offcuts of the 8-foot sleepers I've got. So I'm going to mill these out so I can start making the arms. So I'm going to mill these.
would you think of me? What would you think? Kurnik. I love the blues and I love the blues, and all I want is blue except to be with you. I love to feel the blue, love to feel it too, and all I want is blue except to be with you. If we could save the world by saying think of me, if I could say just me, what would you think of me? I tell you I love the blue, and I love the blue. All I want is blue except to be with you. If I could say just me, what would you think?
Okay guys, so I've just milled these ribs to width and thickness. It's pretty much just a square. In my case this is 2 inches. Now I'm going to cut them to length. So I've got, this is basically what it's going to end up like. This is one of the top arms. This is offset. Here's what I mean by offsets. If you look, it's not centered, it's offset from the center. So I've got 2 of these to make, and also we've got the center arm which is going to be centered. So this stock, yeah, this tenon if you like, is going to be directly in the center. There's plans out there, sizes, etc. I'll put a link in the description, because this wooden dummy, it's not the same, but it's loosely based. Obviously I've built a few of these, so I'll alter it to my specifications, what I think's better. But I'll include the link, and it should give you like all the sizes there. But you will hear us referring to different sizes, so it should be pretty close to the sizes on the link I'm going to give you. So I'm going to cut these to length now.
What would you think?
So guys, I've cut these to length, and I've also marked the centres where I'm going to cut, etc, etc. On the offset ones and on the centre ones, so when you mark them, it should end up something like that. I don't know if you can see that very well. Probably not, I don't think. Well, anyway, they're marked. So I've set the stop up on the sled. So when you're cutting these, this doesn't have to move. The stop should stay where it is. The only thing that's going to move is the height of the blade. But when you're doing this, be very, very careful that you check and double check the height of your blade, because especially on the off center ones, because the blade is the height of the blade is going to be less on 2 sides, and then it's going to be more. It's going to be more on the bottom when you're cutting. So I would suggest you do the little cuts first, then you should know where you are. But like, check and double check, because if you take too much of it out, you're going to have to start again, because it's just going to take too much out of the tenon, and you're going to weaken the tenon. And if you've ever used a wooden dummy, as you know, it gets a lot of abuse, a lot of force. So these tenons need to be really, really strong. Another thing which I forgot to mention was when you're selecting a piece of timber for the arms, because it gets like hit so much and so much stress and force, select your timber like really well. Look for the grain, see if it's nice and straight. Check for knots. You don't want any knots whatsoever, live or dead. Check for any defects. And I've actually been quite lucky with this, because I've had to cut into sleepers, so I've been very lucky, and everything looks pretty well. But really check for that. That's a really big important thing. It needs to be good, solid, strong timber. You don't want any defects. splits, cracks, whatever. Make sure it's really good. So I'm going to start cutting these now. Okay guys, now I'm going to rip these long tenons, if you like. Rather than do it all by hand, I'm going to use a saw. I've set a stop block on the fence, so it can't go any further than this point here. So it's going to be the same again. Make sure you check every single cut before you do it, with exception of the centre arm, because the distance should be the same all the way around, so you shouldn't really go wrong on the centre arm, but doesn't hurt to check, does it? But with the offset arms, you're going to have to check these. So I would do a cut, take it out, stop your saw, and then check. It's going to take you literally like 20-30 seconds to check. You're better off doing it. So we're going to do these, and then we're going to finish them off with a saw. But before you finish them off with a saw, we're going to do that a little bit later, because we still want these sections intact, because it's going to make life a lot easier for when we're coming to shape these, because we're going to use a tapering jig to shape these. Use a tapering jig and then finish it off with a hand plane, sander, etc. So when you've cut these, make sure you don't finish it all the way with a hand saw. Okay, so we're going to cut these now.